The movies start by showing a festival, where a private detective named Walter realizes that someone is following him. He speeds up, quickly drops a package into a mailbox and keeps moving. As soon as he steps into the street, a van hits him and leaves him for dead. In Hawaii, Navy Commander James trains his team underwater in a pool. He outlasts everyone, so he comes out and scolds them. Then a soldier comes and says the police are on the phone for him. Soon after, James in the morgue looking at his father Walter's dead body. The police claim a drunk driver hit him. Later, James goes home and cooks dinner. When his wife Layla came and asks about his day, he mentions training, then casually says Walter died. Hearing this, Layla says his brother should be told, but James says they haven't spoken in years and his brother won't answer his calls. In Oklahoma, James's half-brother Johnny sees his girlfriend Valentina packing because she's leaving him. Today is her birthday and he forgot, which makes her angry. Since Johnny never takes anything seriously, she's had enough. He apologizes and promises to change. She kisses him, then slaps him and leaves anyway. Feeling miserable, Johnny spends the next few hours drinking. Just then, Layla calls Johnny to tell him Walter has died and the funeral is tomorrow. But Johnny doesn't care about going and walks to the bathroom while talking to her about his police work. Suddenly, two men appear behind him and hold a knife to his neck. When he turns to look, he accidentally pees on their shoes. They demand the package Walter sent, but Johnny says he knows nothing. The men show their tattoos to prove they're Yakuza and threaten to kill him if they don't get the package. So, Johnny pretends to beg for mercy, then suddenly fights back. He fights them around the bathroom, breaking things, even the door. A third man comes in shooting, so Johnny ducks for cover. When one attacker wakes up, Johnny slams him into the door and traps the shooter, punching him through the door. After knocking out two men, the last one destroys his mother's shrine. Angry, Johnny grabs a grater and scrapes the man's arm, then smashes his head on the table. Suddenly, an attacker returns and nearly chokes him with a belt, but Johnny throws him onto the broken glass and kills him. Next day at the funeral, James sees Yakuza and another syndicate gang there. Right then, Johnny shows up too, and they quickly start arguing until the priest tells them to stop. After the ceremony, Walter's ashes are sent away on a boat. After that, Johnny sees James is living in their childhood home. It's revealed Walter cheated on James's mother and had Johnny with another woman. James's mum accepted Johnny, but James never did. At lunch, Governor Peter joins because their half-sister Nani works for him. While talking, Johnny says he didn't come for family. He's here to find who killed Walter. James sticks to the drunk driver story, but Johnny tells him about the attack last night. They argue, and James blames Johnny for causing trouble. When Johnny says James didn't help when his mother was killed, James pauses, then asks to talk to him alone. Outside, they argue again. James won't accept Walter was murdered, so Johnny gets mad and leaves, and goes to a bar, where Johnny meets his old friend Alekai, who works for the syndicate. Alekai says his boss, Mr. K, wants to meet Johnny, but Johnny says no. Soon, Johnny passes out because Alekai has put a sedative in his drink. He wakes up in a room with Mr. K, who reminds him he has hurt many of his men before. Johnny says he did it because they killed his mom. Mr. K orders Johnny to leave Hawaii. Johnny refuses, so Mr. K slams him on a table and carves his initial into Johnny's neck. He warns Johnny he has 7 days to leave, or they will kill him. Meanwhile, James visits Detective Reunite to get Walter's case file. Reunite lets him check it, but says there's nothing helpful. The accident happened in a place where no one talks to the police. The police believe a drunk driver hit him, so they stopped investigating. Later in his car, James checks Walter's stuff and finds a keychain, plus a wallet with a ticket inside that has a weird list of words on it. Meanwhile, Johnny breaks into Walter's apartment. He finds a gun in the desk and takes it. Hearing someone at the door, he hides. A guy named Pika comes in, searches the desk, and Johnny tries to surprise him, but Pika throws a plate and escape. But when Pika reaches the street, Johnny is already there and punches him. Johnny then takes Pika to a bar and demands answers. Pika admits he worked for Walter. Johnny asks who killed him. Pika says Walter had lots of enemies, and his last job was with a catering company. Pika worked there as a waiter, but never understood why Walter picked that gig. Then Johnny tells Pika he now works for him. That day, James goes to the spot where Walter was killed and examines the tire marks on the road. He notices a security camera at a nearby adult shop and goes inside, offering money to see the footage. When the owner refuses, James attacks him. While Johnny and Pika return to Walter's apartment and find a surfboard. Johnny noticed that one of the fins looks wrong. When he pulls it, hidden blueprint fall out. Johnny calls Nanny and tells her that the secret blueprint have Governor Peter's official seal, and she promises to check the database later. As Pika tries to leave, the door suddenly slams into him when James bursts in holding a gun. Johnny also pulls his gun, but seeing each other they lower their weapons. James asks who he is, and Johnny says his name is Pika. Then ask what you are doing here. James replies saying you are doing, and shows a flash drive with security footage from the adult shop. In the video, the van has no license plate and clearly rams water on purpose. Johnny thinks it's murder, but James wants more proof. Johnny then tells Pika to look into the catering company for more information. While the brothers drive off, arguing so much they don't notice a vehicle crash into their car. The vehicle keeps pushing their car down the street, causing multiple crashes around them. Then the men in the pursuing car open fire. Johnny shoots back at their vehicle, but the windows are bulletproof. James manages to kill one shooter with a headshot, but he quickly runs out of bullets. So, Johnny leaps out and runs on the street while still firing. And James finds extra ammo, climbs out through the window, and jumps onto the enemy car, but his bullets still can't break the glass. Finally, Johnny shoots the car's engine, causing it to explode and crash, while James falls onto the road. Afterward, they go to the police station. Reunite yells at them for causing huge chaos on the streets. He reveals that Johnny was suspended from the force 2 months ago and is now under investigation. Then James hands Reunite the flash drive and asks him to reopen Walter's case, but Reunite ignores it and warns them to stop causing trouble. That evening, Nanny shows them her findings. The blueprint are for a property owned by Marcus, who also owns the catering company. James also notices a seal on the plans from Sacred Casino Princess, which is odd because gambling is illegal on the island. Because of this, they decide to question Marcus. Next morning, they go to the place where the casino was supposed to be built, but instead of a construction site, they see old Hawaiian village that has belonged to locals. Just then, Johnny gets a call from Pika saying police found a blue van. The brothers rush there and learn a government accountant's body was found inside. The van has no license plates, but Reunite has a list of all registered blue vans on the island. The brothers try to keep the list, but Reunite takes it back and warns them to stay out of the case. After Reunite leaves, Johnny tells Pika to look into Hayashi Imports, the only Japanese name on the list. Hours later, Pika works as a waiter at a fundraiser and brings extra uniforms so the brothers can sneak in. He also confirms Hayashi Imports is run by the Yakuza. After that, they split up to stay low-key, and James serves a guy named Nakamura and secretly takes his credit card from the plate, noticing it's linked to Hayashi Imports. He hands it back, acting like he just found it, then casually asks if their company lost a blue van. Nakamura gets suspicious, quietly threatens James, and walks off. Meanwhile, Johnny meets Monica, who recognizes his last name and asks about Walter. After hearing what happened, she reveals she's married to Marcus and wants divorce, so she hired Walter to gather evidence against him. She then says she can't talk more in public and asks Johnny to visit her penthouse tomorrow. Shortly after, armed guards bring the brothers to Marcus. He says he hired Walter and paid him well, and he seems surprised Walter is dead. Johnny accuses him of murder, but Marcus denies it and claims he only hired Walter to see if Monica was cheating. After telling this, he throws both brothers out of there. Next morning, Johnny goes to meet Monica, but sees ambulances and police blocking the road. As he gets closer, he finds Monica dead on top of a car, and the police say she fell from her balcony. Angry, Johnny goes to Marcus's mansion and fights the guards who try to stop him. He beats several of them, but is eventually stopped when they tase him. Then Marcus comes to see him, and Johnny accuses him of killing Monica, but Marcus denies it again and orders his men to call the police. Later in jail, Governor Peter visits Johnny and tells him that Marcus dropped the charges. He tells Johnny to let the police handle things and says Walter always had a dark side, which he now sees in both brothers. After Johnny is released, James scolds him, saying violence won't bring their mother back. Johnny loses control, headbutts James, and they start a brutal fight. The fight ends in the mud, where James wins by repeatedly punching Johnny in the face. Then Johnny asks what kind of big brother abandons his younger brother when he needs him most, talking about when James sent him away. So, James explains he did it to protect Johnny because the syndicate planned to kill him. Then Johnny says he's still haunted by seeing their mother dead and that James was the only family he had left. Realizing how deeply he hurt him, James finally apologizes. Later at home, Johnny gets a call from Valentina, who found Walter's mysterious package in his mail. Inside is a flash drive, and Johnny asks her to bring it to Hawaii. At the airport, Johnny tries to hug her, but she just throws her suitcase at him. In the car, Pika tries to open the flash drive, but finds it protected by a banking security system. Valentina explains it's a cold wallet with digital encryption. The flash drive is the key to access someone's money, which is why the Yakuza wants it. It needs a password made of 12 random words. So James gives Pika the ticket with strange words that Walter had in his wallet. Right then, a helicopter starts shooting at them. Johnny tries to shoot back, while James struggles to control the car, dodging bullets and crashed vehicles dropped in their path. Valentina tells James to let her drive and skillfully speeds through the chaos, avoiding every obstacle. The brothers keep firing, and James shoots the gunman in the head. The body falls, and the stray bullets hit the pilot, causing the helicopter to crash. After the chase, Pika finally unlocks the flash drive. It reveals that $12 million a year was secretly paid to Peter. They realize that Marcus was bribing Peter so he could open a casino, with the Yakuza hired for security. Walter discovered this scheme while investigating the marriage. The government accountant likely gave Walter the evidence, and Peter ordered Yakuza to kill everyone to hide the scandal. At the same time, Nanny shows the blueprint to Peter, saying Marcus might be involved in something illegal. Peter acts like he knows nothing and takes the blueprint, saying he'll review it. When the group returns home, James can't find his family. He calls them and finds Layla's phone on the floor. Panicking, he searches the house and finally finds his kids hiding in the bathroom. Just then, Marcus sends a video showing Nanny and Layla tied up in his basement. He demands the flash drive in exchange for their lives. Furious, James opens his weapons stash, and the brothers arm themselves heavily. That evening, they silently kill 2 guards outside Marcus's mansion and move through the yard, taking out more guards without making noise. Soon, they take down all the guards. After killing the outside guards, the brothers cut the mansion's power. So Marcus sends a basement guard to check, and the man finds the cables cut and reports it on the radio. When he turns to leave, he sees the guards' bodies floating in the pool. Suddenly, Johnny appears behind him, stabs him, and uses the radio to tell Marcus they're coming. Then Marcus sends Nakamura and his men. James spots them in hallway and quickly kills them all. When one tries to escape, James tackles him and repeatedly smashes his head with a hammer until Johnny steps in. After that, the brothers reach the basement and free the women. As they rush out, Johnny decides to go back for revenge. Layla says she'll be fine and convinces James to stay with her brother, so James goes back. In the basement, he runs into Nakamura and they start shooting at each other. When Nakamura runs out of bullets, he grabs a sword, and James fights hand to hand, then picks up a mace, strikes Nakamura hard, breaks his arm, takes the sword, and kills him. Meanwhile, Johnny finds Marcus trying to escape on a boat. He tackles and disarms him, and they fight using anything nearby. Marcus grabs a hook and stabs Johnny in the shoulder, dragging him across the ground. He then picks up his gun and starts talking, which gives Johnny time to quietly pull the pin of the grenade he took earlier. Marcus shoots Johnny, and Johnny falls into the water just before the grenade explodes. Moments later, James arrives, jumps in the water and saves him. Together, they came out and watched the flames that kill Marcus. Next day, Rennet arrests Peter in front of everyone. Later, the family spends a peaceful day at the beach, remembering the people they lost. Johnny apologizes to his mother for staying away so long and promises to treat Valentina better. Then Mr. K appears and admits he manipulated Johnny into fighting the Yakuza so his own gang could take over the island. Then he gives Johnny the name of his mother's killer. Johnny shows it to James, who supports him but reminds him that Walter sent the flash drive to bring Johnny back to his family. Hearing this, Johnny burns the paper, lets go of his anger, and chooses to start a new life with his family.